Hello. Let me tell you, good morning. Prank calls and slander is not a good way to go. Yep, it's not. I tell you, do stuff like that, you can get in trouble. Don't do it. Don't do it. Not worth it. All it does is cause you a lot of unnecessary problems, a lot of unnecessary grief. So take my word of advice. Don't do it. You'll be a better person for it. You know, rise above it. You just let it go. Because pranks, no. They got a way of taking on a life of their own. Trust me, you don't want that. You don't never want that. Cause they do. Trust me, they just do. I'm gonna tell you, dude, it's not something you want to do. You don't want to be known as a jokester or a prankster. Because then when something really serious happens, no one will believe you when you tell them that something serious is happening. So don't do that. Never do it. You're gonna like say something, just say it right out. Just but slander, it's not worth that. You know, slander is slander is it's more like a sophisticated rumor. It's like well, say you meet a girl, right? Well, she's good looking and everything, but all of a sudden you said, "Wow, she had on a nice jacket." I like that jacket. Someone else could take that and say something totally different, you know. And that's how rumors and slanders happen, That's how it happens. So I'm gonna tell you, not worth it. Things could be twisted around to make it seem like you said something negative when you didn't. So I'm gonna tell you, don't do it. 'Cause one thing, if you're calling a business like a restaurant or a pizzeria, you're sending pizzas to other people's houses and stuff like that. They could charge the managers of those shops could charge you for those pizzas. If you don't pay, then they can charge. They can also swear out charges against you for impeding their business practices. You don't want that. You don't want that. Trust me, dude. I've seen it happen. You don't want that. I mean, one time, me and a friend of ours, we were on our way home because we usually ride the bus home at the same time from work. We get off at the same stop. I walked I walked him to his house, because I like to see everybody. So I'm waved so I waved at his mom and his mom waved us over. So I go over and I see his mom. We're talking. You know. Next thing I know, we're looking at this pizza guy. He pulls up front of the door in this 19, what is it? It's a I think it's a 83 Oldsmobile that he's delivering pizzas in. And he gets out and he delivers like 9 pizzas to my friend's house. None of the pizza my friend didn't order none of it. But yet still it's an order that came from his house to his address. Come to find out, the next day at work, we get in and the guy that came in behind us, he's suddenly laughing. You know, couldn't find out he got my friend's address out of the employee Rolodex, and he sent the pizzas to my friend's house. You know, that's the type of stuff that gets you into serious trouble. You don't want to do that. You never want to do that. I'm gonna tell you, it's not something. It's not something that a normal person would do. You know, I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna tell you, the pizzas that was delivered to my friend's house, the ones he did, the pizzas he didn't order. You know, to avoid getting in trouble for that, we had to like pay for those pizzas and stuff, and we had to like talk to the pizza parlor guy. We had to have my friend's number totally blocked from the pizza parlor dial up because the guy kept calling and ordering stuff, trying to order stuff in my friend's name, you know, and that type of stuff. It always ends badly because you never know what somebody might do or what they might say to the person that they're ordering this stuff from. I mean, you don't know, so it's best not to do it. I mean, is it really worth it? I mean, having to shell out all that money for stuff, or having somebody shell out all that money for stuff that they didn't order or didn't even want, you know? I mean, all you're doing is causing a problem, and you know, it's just it just causes a problem for everybody. I mean, really, do you really want to do that? I mean, that's not anything that you want to do, to be honest. I mean, it's not something that I would do. It's not something that a rational person would do. But hey, it's like whoever did this, you could tell was like it was like a prank, but it was a foolish one at that because that prank not only cost my friend and me a lot of money, but it also made the neighborhood pizza place kind of weary of us. So whenever we walk in there, the guy's looking at us all crazy, like we did something. But in reality, we really didn't do anything. In reality, we we really didn't do anything. We just really kind of hung out and ordered our stuff, and we got things going. We did things, but all we did was we ordered a couple of milkshakes, and we sat down. We did our paperwork, for our job and whatnot. We really didn't do anything worthy of note, but this guy, his attention was so focused on us because of the pizza incident. I mean, he called us over to the counter to make sure that we were ordering stuff that we were actually going to pay for. And that's the type of stuff you don't want when you walk into businesses. I mean, it's not an uncommon practice that business owners do that. I mean, I work for a fast food restaurant that that children children came into all the time, and we used to give away coupons for kids like on holidays and stuff. You know, an employee would sign the coupon or a parent would sign the coupon, and the kid would get like a certain item on the menu. Well, one day this kid comes in, you know, and I know this kid from the neighborhood. I usually see him around. So I usually see him around. He comes up to the counter and he orders a small milkshake, and a kid's burger, basic kid's meal. So what I did was instead of I gave him his order, fixed his order up for him. He paid for it. I signed a book of coupons and I gave it to him, just to be just to be friendly and to further customer relations, you know, because that's what we're supposed to do. But this kid, I mean, he's he's one of the people. He's a person that if he wouldn't cause a problem, you wouldn't even know he's there or not unless he comes up and talks to you. That's the type of person he is. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes it's better not to be known than to be known. Cause hey, it's like um, the kid. When I gave him the coupons, he was shocked because, he didn't expect it. But it's always sometimes the unexpected could be a good thing. You know, I just did it to further, the customer relations. To make sure that you know he stays a continuing customer. But he comes in, he sits down, he eats his food. He doesn't do anything. He sometimes orders a milkshake and he basically listens to music while he's eating, stuff like that. He's not a real he isn't one of those kids that causes a problem. But I gotta tell you, sometimes you get those people who see somebody who's not really doing anything and they want to cause problems. Like the college football team, they knew that they were having a game and they were going to have a party after. Why not put your order in a couple of days beforehand? I mean, this way we can have your stuff ready. You know, they didn't do that. They waited 2 days before the game and they put their big order in. So other than waiting, other than waiting for their order, they come in and it's a crowd of them. They want their order now, and you know, and they're very impatient. But we got their order together in a hurry. It took every bit of food that we had in the display, the crest core. We had to cook up food, but it took a while. Come the day of the big game, we had to do the stuff again. Cook up big orders. We had to make party packs and stuff like that. It's not a big thing, but to put your order in days in advance, it would help us to streamline everything, get things ready so that when you come in for your order, you can get it and no harm, no foul. But then, you always get those people from sorority row that want to, kind of want to bust you out with those, and they always get us. It's the big orders, it's the really big orders that really get us. But when we have to take those big orders like that, it takes away from what the business that we have to do. And sometimes those people from sorority row order those big meals, and they don't really want to pay for them. So what they do is they leave them at the store, which causes a problem for us. You know. So basically, what we started doing was when they make those big orders, you know, and the the football team and stuff, when they make the big orders, we usually just charge them we usually, make the football teams pay for them, like out of their petty cash. But what we started doing was billing the coaching staff because, they found it funny that the guys were ordering these big orders and sometimes they weren't paying for them, and leaving the food at the store, you know, and it just really got to me. So one day the boss came up with this idea. He said, Instead of writing an invoice out to the football team like we usually do, we're just going to start making them out to the coaching staff. Every time an athletic order comes from the college, we're going to make it out to the coaching staff because they think it's funny to bust us out. We're going to make them pay for it. We're going to make them pay for our labor. So that's what he kept doing. I mean, he still does it to this day. I mean, but you really shouldn't. I mean, you really shouldn't do that. I mean, when you ordering stuff and sending it to people's houses, you know, you're not just impeding the person's business and messing with people's livelihoods. You're also just bothering the people that you're sending the stuff to. I mean, it's a hassle for them because now they have to pay for stuff that they didn't order. Now they have to go and face the business owner for practices that they've impeded when they really didn't do anything at all. I mean, it's just why? Why would you do something like this? I mean, I know that you were taught better than to do stuff like that, to interfere with people's livelihoods and stuff. It's not right. But then you're a teenager, so I don't expect anything more of you than that because you're growing up in this world of technology and the morals that your parents have taught you have long since gone the way of the dinosaur. I mean, why would you harass people, and send things to people's houses? I mean, it doesn't look right. I mean, and what if the restaurant gets the bill and he finds out who you are, the restaurateur, and he says, "Oh, he wants to play practical jokes. Well, I'm going to make him pay for it. I'm going to make him pay for my labor." So what he does, what the restaurateur does, and he's legally within his rights, he can make out a bill, a duplicate invoice, not only to you, but to the person that you sent the pizzas to. But he can make you pay for the pizzas, but the invoice itself is to just make sure that you know what you've done. You know, he's going to make you pay for his labor. He's going to make you pay for his anguish and his stress that you put him through. So I'd advise these foolish pranks, they shouldn't happen. They should. They really should. But again, I digress. You're a teenager. So what's going to happen? It's always going to be foolish pranks on the internet. It's always going to be foolish pranks on broadcast. But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to the foolish pranks where it involves sending stuff to people's residences, just don't do it. Don't do it because one, it's going to cost you. Two, you don't want things like this to actually boomerang back on you. Seriously, I'm telling you, just don't do it. But like I said, it's up to you. You're your own person. I can only advise you. I mean, if you want to do something worthwhile, just find a hobby or something. I mean, get a hobby. I mean, build something, uh, make something, bake a cake, do something. But just don't prank anybody. It's not worth it. It's not. In the long run, trust me, dude, it's not worth it. It seldom is. But you guys have a good day. Happy Sunday to you.